Welcome to Friday Night Chats with Garage Geek. The day has finally come. It is Friday, and I have a 3-week vacation. I'm in heaven. It's hard to explain unless you go through it. When you're counting down the days with the students, you know the vacation's coming up. You just got to suffer through those days. And it happens every year, and it happens like twice a year, right? Or even 3 times. But it's still always something special when you get those 3 weeks off, or even if it's 2 weeks or the summer. So the next big one, is the summer, right? So we will get a week off around spring break, and then there's like this long haul all the way to summer. But I'm so excited to be out for 3 weeks. I've got so much to do, right? But the best laid plans. I've been promising a room tour. I'm going through all my stuff, but I'm still surrounded by a gigantic mess. You don't see around me. One of the reasons I'm surrounded by a big mess is because I keep buying stuff and I need to stop. Like I'm so addicted, and I'm about ready to show you more stuff I bought. It's like insanity. I'm not even showing you everything. Now, I really don't have much for you today. I've actually been sick this whole week, and I don't know, like, even if you could tell by my voice, I am still a little bit sick. I still have a little bit of backache, a little bit of throat problem. It's been going around. Hopefully, this is not going to be a recurrence of what happened. I don't know, was it like about a month or a month and a half ago? That one was bad. And I was texting with Sleepy Reader, and he said that a friend of his, he got better and then it got really bad. So I'm like, I'm praying that that's not what this is, man, because you know what, I did my time this year. Please, no more flu. But yeah, it was, this time around, it wasn't that bad. I was just waking up with like some body aches, a little bit of a sore throat, but I was able to go to school fine. So I really, really do not have much to talk about with you today, because I didn't do much this week. I didn't watch any movies. In the car, in fact, because I was sick, I didn't even feel like listening to books. So I listened to my DJ on Spotify again, and I'm kind of digging that. Right, he just cycles through. I know it's an algorithm, and they're just picking songs that you like, and then they pick other songs based on what you like. But there's something about having a DJ come on and walk you through all of that, and like, okay, well, those were the songs that you liked this year, and now we're gonna move on to some. It's really a really nice feature that I'm starting to like on Spotify, the DJ, and almost all of the picks that I get on DJ they are related to stuff that has been recommended. My grammar's gone today. Stuff that has been recommended by people on YouTube, because I listen to that a lot in Spotify. My other stuff I'll listen to on album or CD, but I've been listening to a lot of Spotify recently, because I took apart my stereo system, and I still have yet to hook it back up. I actually want to buy some newer, smaller speakers. I had those gigantic ones, and it was just time for a change. But I haven't bought any yet. So I'm not sure exactly when I'm going to have my record player hooked back up. And for a YouTube member of the vinyl community, that must be like a gigantic sin. So everybody can shame, whatever, shame me. So why don't I just start with something concrete that I did. I listened to one book, and the one book was on the Booker Prize shortlist. So I'm a nerd. I make this kind of chart every year. I've actually got them all on one big list on the Freeform app. I love that app. But what I do is I put the long list, then I put the short list, and then I put the winner. And this was this year, and we already know the winner. The winner was Prophet Song, but I was late to the game this year for some reason. I actually have two of the long listed books in my queue right now to listen to, but for some reason, it's normally random. But I've heard three of the shortlisted books, and I already talked about Western Lane and Study for Obedience. Western Lane had to do with race and a family, and then Study for Obedience was just some like weird whacked out. It was like a crazy book. I don't think I'll ever forget that book soon. It was just so weird. And the one that I listened to is called If I Survive You by Jonathan Escoffery. Now, what I didn't realize is that this book was a group of short stories that were all linked, and I didn't realize it because I don't remember short stories being on the Booker Prize. I could totally be wrong about that. I probably am. But I listened to it, and I hadn't realized that they were short stories. But it's basically a novel. It's just each chapter deals with, the characters kind of move. It's basically a novel that's broken up into, chapter-like short stories. They could have been published individually. Each story ends, but they're linked. And it's all about this family of Jamaican immigrants to, I believe, Florida. And their kids, their two children, and there's, I think, one story about a cousin. So the two children are born, and they have different skin colors. One's lighter than the other one's darker, and they don't fit in any sense, like they're racially. And so this is a book about race, and it's told from many of the stories are told from like the character's point of view. And he is constantly being questioned because he doesn't fit in with the African Americans. He doesn't fit in with the Latinos. And he tries. He tries to become parts of each group until they find out what he is. And then there's always like this rude awakening of him being ejected. His attitude about race and being in each group changes as he tries to fit in, and then as he's ejected. And, this constant barrage of like, who are you? Like, what are you? And these kind of questions, it's a very compelling book. And as the characters, get older, there's all these questions about how you live your life, and they fall on hard times. They go through a hurricane, and it just basically becomes a survival story of and also about like when you have two brothers, like who gets what in a family and why. And I'm going to say that this was a very interesting book for me. Of the three, though, I'm going to say that I still think Study for Obedience is the best of the three. These two, Western Lane and If I Survive You, based on the content, I would say that they were equal. They're both really, really good, strong books. But Study for Obedience was just some kind of wacky that really, really kind of got under my skin. It was just so weird. That one edges out for me as so far still being the best. Anyways, If I Survive You, Jonathan Escoffery, I enjoyed it. And it's not that long either. Now, I did go on a line right before this, and that's when I found out this was a group of short stories, because they were saying it in the reviews. The reviews are really mixed about this book. A lot of people did not like it at all, I found that very strange. I really understood why people didn't like Study for Obedience, because it was just so weird. But this one is a straight up story when you get to see life from a perspective, about what someone is going through. And of course, I can't really understand that. Like, I never had to do that as a kid. I mean, of course, I had to hide the fact that I was gay, but that's totally different because it's not on the surface, right? And so, in a way, I could relate to the character, but in another way, I can't. I never went through what these kids went through, and to get a window into that, I think is really fascinating, and in a way, the author does a great job of doing that. And so I personally don't understand why people are saying that this is not a good book. I guess one of the persons said that there's nothing there. There's no substance. It's all fluff. I didn't think that at all. Is it the best book I ever read? No, but it was certainly enjoyable. I think it deserves to be on the short list. And from there, that's all I've got. So that's 11 minutes. So I'm going to go back to my little list. So what do I have still left to read? I have all of these, which you'll probably be hearing about a couple of these next week. If I always say that I'm going to be listening to books on my vacation, and then I don't. I do this in the car, and then I find it difficult to like get into that mode when I'm at home to just sit and listen when I can be doing other things. Because when I listen, right, I need to have my attention on it. And when I'm driving, it's okay. I can have my attention on the book and still drive. For some weird reason, I can divide that easily. But when I'm in my house, it's hard for me to just sit still and listen to that because I want to start doing things like, maybe categorizing my albums. And the minute I start doing that, right, I'm actually doing a mental task where I'm, putting things in alphabetical order, and so my concentration gets divided. And so I'm not paying attention to the book like I should. I'm going on and on about this. Okay. I basically find it difficult to listen to books in the home. And so I'd rather read. But of course, that's a much slower process. Okay, so I actually extended that to 12 minutes because I'm worried, like, I'm not going to have really much to say today since I didn't even watch anything and, I hardly read anything. And I really, really need to clear my nose right now, and I'm kind of struggling against that. Sorry, I'm going to do it. That's gross. I'm sorry. I know that. Sorry for doing that. But it was bugging me. So I'm gonna show you some stuff that I got, and this is really bad because I shouldn't be doing this, right? I shouldn't be like showing off everything that I bought. It's like, but I really have nothing else to do, so I'm just gonna show you some stuff that I got, and most of it came today. So you're gonna see that Garage Geek is freaky. Look what I got to show you. I really bid this up. I wanted this. I don't know why I wanted this. But I got this Modern Man magazine. I haven't opened it yet. I don't know, like, if there are nude women in here or if this is a pulp. It says the Adult Picture Magazine. I've never heard of this. It's not like Playboy. I don't know what country it's from. Well, look, Soccer Invades US. It must be an American magazine. But it was 60 cents when it came out. But look at that gorgeous cover. I know I usually go for art, but look at how beautiful that cover is. Is there something about me I don't know? I mean, that's stunning. I don't know if it's the color, the way she's looking. I mean, the hint of this. This is a very sexy picture. It's a beautiful picture. I don't know out there. What do you think? Is that a nice picture? Okay, straight guys. I think the majority of people who watch my show are straight guys. But any straight women, I'd love to hear straight women. Do you think that this is... So your perspective would be kind of like mine, right? Straight women, gay guy. Like, is this sexy? I think so. I think maybe not sexy, right? Like evocative, or what's another word I want besides sexy? I can't think. It must be the cold. Like, there's another word that I want. I mean, but this is such a pretty picture, I think. Now, straight guys, what do you think? Is that a sexy picture? Is that sexy or not? Or is it just a beautiful photograph? I want to get to the bottom of this, not literally to the bottom of this, but I want to get to like, why do I like this picture so much? It's not a guy. But wow, is that beautiful. And I also got another magazine, which it's like night and day. Like, that is just the most ridiculous cover. But look at that. Famous Monsters of Filmland, number 26. It's even got a big stamp on it. But that's a pretty cool cover as well. Okay, which one do you prefer? Do you prefer the monster or the man? The modern man, or the famous monsters, or the modern man? Let me know. Sleepy Reader's gonna hate me, right? Because he knows I'm going over to the dark side. But I got a couple more slabs. I have 4 Teen Titans slabs now. I think I'm going to try to get the Perez a lot. Well, he did a lot. He did a lot of Teen Titans. But I would like to try to collect these in slabs. Lower numbers so I can get good deals. So I have number 11 in an 8.5. I have number 16 in a 9.2. This always disappointed me because DC would do that. Here's this great cover art, and they just like took it and shrunk it down because they wanted to add. That's such a shame. I wonder what the artists who work so hard to illustrate these magazines think about that when they do that to their art. I've got a number 17, which I love this cover. Look at that. I really need to take them out of these plastic bags for you. That's just such a great. And then this one I think is I got this one new. This is an 8.0. And like I said, I don't mind getting them like lower levels, because lower numbers, because they're so much cheaper. But yeah, Terra's story was really interesting in Teen Titans. Yeah. 4 Teen Titans slabs. Sleepy Reader. Oh, I was getting bashed. I shouldn't say bashed. It was all in fun, I think. But man, there's an anti-slab sentiment in the comic community, and I totally get it. Right, slabbing is not for me at all. I do not like it. I don't like what it does to the market. I don't like what it does to collectors. Right, because this is basically something that you can't enjoy except to look at. But I have a lot of these issues, and I plan to get all the issues in the singles. I have them in collected editions. I could read these at any time. For me, this is an art piece, and no matter how much I argued that, no one would listen to that point of view. They were like, that doesn't matter. This is not art. I don't know. They're like, I want to break it open, smash it. There's a couple of you out there, you know who I mean. Love all of you to death, but I just like it for the art, right? I want to hang them up on the wall. Is that okay? They're like, no, you could do that with the comic. You don't have to encase it in plastic. And you know what? They're absolutely right too. Like, there are these fake slab things you can put comics in, and you can put them up, and it looks like a slab, and you can use it for display purposes without all that gimmicky stuff at the top here. And I get it. All right, I have 2 more slabs to show you. So I don't know if did I get this one today? No, I think this is new. But I got this Alpha Flight number 1, and John Byrne is one of my faves, right? And I loved this comic as a kid. And so this is Alpha Flight number 1 in a 7.0. And when you look at this comic 7.0, so the highest is 9.8. But when you look at it, there's like this tiny, tiny little like indent here. But I don't see anything else. Oh, I see it. I see it now. There's a little crease over here. Who cares? I probably got this for $30 cheaper because of that little crease. Thank you, little crease. I because that dropped the rating. And Oh, but then someone, I think it was Sleepy Reader, who said, well, you're just taking advantage of these poor people. They send it in, they pay the money to get them, slabbed, and they're hoping for 9.6s or 9.8s, and it comes back a 7. And I've seen videos like that, and it just like breaks their heart. That's so sad. And then I'm like profiting off of their misery. Sorry. And then the final one I got, I'm telling you, I'm really enamored of these DC covers that have these plain backgrounds. And I showed a bunch of them in a recent issue. And the bad thing is I don't actually have this in a single issue. I need to get it, right? But it's Warlord number 2. And this is Mike Grell. I mean, look at this cool cover. And that one was a 9.0. And man, I love it. It's gorgeous. Right, Angel? What do you think, Angel? Angel's feeling better, by the way, everybody out there. We're all getting better in this house. Right, Angel, you're just showing your butt to everybody. Where's your face? Oh, there you are. Say hi, Angel. Yeah? All right. So I showed you my nudie magazine. Let's switch to some books. I've been getting some books, and I've got 2 types of books to show you. So I recently got this Stephen King book, The Colorado Kid. I was very happy to get this, and this is a company called Hard Case Crime. And I've known about them, but I just really liked that cover, so I started investigating them. And so I went on eBay, and I found someone selling a lot of 4 books, and I got them relatively cheap. I made an offer. Like, I offered them less because with the shipping and everything, I offered what I really wanted to pay. And sometimes they accept, sometimes they don't. This person accepted. And so, I mean, it's worth it to me. Like, I sometimes lowball, but I put what I really want to pay. And I'm not upset if people don't take that. But if people have had something running for a long time and they just really want to sell it, they'll accept your offer. So I got another Colorado Kid. It's the same book by Stephen King, The Colorado Kid. Now, I guess this one was 10 years, and then this one came out 10 years later, and it's like an anniversary edition, and this one has like pictures in it. I don't know if this one does. I mean, if you look at it, you can see that this one's thicker than this one, also whiter pages. But yeah, this one says it's an anniversary, and when you look at the numbering, this is Hard Case Crime ATC 013, and this is 013-1. So they same book, different cover, and pretty cool. I mean, look at the art on that. I love it. And I have 3 more to show you. So another one is by Stephen King, and that's called Joyland. And this one is number 112. You see that? And then I got this one called Top of the Heap. Now, I don't love the art on this one. Earl Stanley Gardner. And I guess this is a reprint. Now, this company is pretty cool because what they'll do is they reprint older books, but they also print their own newer ones. And so that's pretty cool. And this one was, this one is number 3. Well, that's a low number. And so now I'll have to get number 1 and 2. And then the last one I got was Donald E. Westlake, Castle in the Air. And this is one of his later books. So I've been talking about him a lot because he wrote the series that I'm listening to now. And I've listened to, I think, 7 of them. And it's about the career criminal, and his name is escaping me. Oh, gosh. I've been waiting for the Darwin Cook comic version. That still hasn't arrived, and I don't know why. I need to investigate that. But what was that guy's name? It's a one-word title. But anyways, he's a career criminal, and they focus, like, every book is a different type of crime, and usually they have different points of view, and you really get to see, how criminals think and plan things out, different types of criminals. And the one bad thing about this company is that they actually have 3.
they have two different sizes, and they also have hardcovers. So I wish they would stick to one style. And for pulp, I think this is the perfect size. These are perfect pulp. Now these are trade paperbacks, of course, and the best thing, right, is you get the art a lot bigger. But I don't know. First world problems. Like I like all of them in this, and then you have them in two different sizes. So for collectors, that's a nightmare. And I'm a collector. Now the final thing that I got this Avengers number 33. I think it's my lowest number. I did get it relatively cheap, but you can see there's like chipping. What else? There's like a chunk out down here. But otherwise, I mean, yeah, it's bent and everything, but this is an old Avengers, and these things go for a lot of money. And yeah, I'm very happy to have that in my collection. Avengers number 33. So the last thing that I think I'm going to show you, but I might have a story to tell you. I don't know if I should. But anyways, I'm going to show you that I won these 3 stacks. It's like, what am I doing? 3 stacks of these science fiction pulp magazines. As if I don't have enough to read. But, I mean, I don't know. The covers are so cool. Like, let's look at this one. This is a 35-cent from January 1957. That's 11 years before I was born. Look at that cool cover. And it's Get Out of My Sky by James Blish. James Blish is a famous writer. Like, these magazines are going to be packed with just short stories or parts of novels from such amazing science fiction writers. They're going to have these amazing covers. The next one has on the front, it's a science fiction analog. Now, I think I remember this from when I was a kid. But this one is from September 1978, which is $1.25. So that's not too old, right? And it's still got an interesting cover, not as good as that other one. And now, though, the cover art is marred by yeah, that one doesn't have it. Look at how nice that one is. It's marred by a barcode. And this one is kind of in the middle. This one is August 1975. It's still only 75 cents. You got this crazy art, which is kind of nice. Now, I prefer science fiction, but I think this is a group of fantastic stories, which is sword and sorcery and other fantasies. So, basically kind of Conan-ish. But where was the... Wait, I missed out. Oh, yeah, there it is. This one has, a Michael Moorcock story. So he's one of the writers I loved as a kid. So to be able to find where some of his stuff was, I don't know if it's first printed there or what. But this stuff is just kind of like untapped gold mines. So what I'm asking is if there's anybody out there who would like me to open these and kind of go through them, or maybe I could do them in different videos. But yeah, this stuff is just, to me, just kind of cool. And the problem is now I'm collecting something else. Not only am I collecting paperbacks, now I'm collecting, what are these called? Pulp magazines? Something like that. A lot. But that is my show for today. I am going to go to work on Monday for 3 hours, credit recovery. Oh, no, I got a story to tell you, don't I? I'm going to go to work on Monday for 3 hours for credit recovery. I hope some of the students show up and take advantage of it. So I was going to end by showing this off again, but I'm not done. So today, I don't know why this shocks me, right? There's nothing new about this. It's just the state of things. It's just the world is changing a lot. And as I'm getting older, I need to do something about this. As I'm getting older, I'm getting shocked. Like things are just changing. Like everywhere you go, like it's common for people to like swear at you. I don't know if this was normal when I was young, but I mean, like it's okay for like people to actually just cuss you out wherever you go. I remember I complained about this, I don't know, like 10 years ago. My neighbor came over and he was complaining about something. And he came over and he was just swearing and swearing like a lot. And I finally just told him, look, if you can't be civil, you got to get out of my yard. And I mean, I had to say that to him. I'm like, look, I'm older than you. Don't just come up to me and start swearing. I know that's an antiquated idea of when someone's older, you need to show them respect. I get that. That's antiquated. But I mean, just to go up to someone like your neighbor and not even, hey, hi, I have this problem, but just like, you motherfucking everything. Like, what? And it was all because there was a stray cat and was pooping in his yard. And we were like feeding the cat on our porch. It was like that. It was a stray cat and we were feeding it. And he was mad because the stray cat was pooping in his yard. And we were getting the blame for it. And he came over and started swearing. I was like, dude, I just was trying to help a stray cat. And I became this huge villain. So anyways, we were enough of that story. So at school today, it was passing period, and I was standing with 3 other adults. They were female, and this kid walked up to us, and he wanted something, and one of the women said no, and he wouldn't accept no for an answer, and he started saying, fuck you, you fucking bitches, and you can go fuck yourselves. And I don't swear on here much, but I'm just explaining like this is what happened. And nobody did anything. And I'm a teacher, right? And I didn't know the student, and they were more like counselors and stuff. So I figured they deal with this student all the time because he came up to them, and they just let it happen. And then nobody escorted him back to class or anything. He just was there swearing, and he kept swearing as he was walking away. And I wanted to say something, but I didn't know if the student had any triggers or anything, and they dealt with him more. But I just felt like, whoa, I should have said something. And so I was like, what just happened? Is this like, and they're like, oh, he does that all the time. And, we hardly even notice it anymore. But it's like, whoa, students just come up and swear at you, call you a fucking bitch, tell you to fuck off. And there's 4 adults and no one does anything. And it's true, because when I'm in my classes, like the kids are swearing constantly. And I remember that there was a time when if a child swore in the classroom, you could send them to the office. And they changed that. They made it because it was happening so much that you can't send a child out for swearing because no one would be in the classroom. So it just became okay. Like as that rule changed, it became okay. Like you just have to, like, I'm constantly going, hey, I need you to watch your language. I need you to watch your language. I need you to watch your language. And the kids know they don't get in trouble for it. So they just do it. It's like this constant barrage of, F-bombs everywhere and all kinds of craziness. So it's, I was just shocked, right? Because I thought to myself, wow, it's gotten so bad that was acceptable. And there were no consequences. The kid just did it, went on his way, he does it all the time. And I was thinking to myself, wow, things have changed so much that it's okay to walk up. One child walks up to 4 adults and curses them out, calls them all kinds of, like, to me, those are horrible things to say to someone, to tell someone to fuck off and call them fucking bitches. And I mean, to me, that's really bad. It's like, but the student gets away with it and he does it all the time and nothing ever happens. And I frankly was just like shocked. I was taken aback. And I actually wrote one of them later. I'm like, wow, I'm still processing what happened. I should have done something. And I really feel bad that I didn't, but I didn't know the student. I thought you guys knew them. I should have stepped in and said something. But I would actually like to write up a report and put this in formal, because what he said was not acceptable in any way, shape, or form. And I think there should be some record of it. And so, I mean, at that point, what could I do? But I don't know. What do you think about that? I was just like, I was so shocked. But that's the norm now. We hear constant swearing. It's like a barrage in the classroom. It's like you can't get it to stop. And then those kind of things happen. I mean, that's not like everyday normal. Like I was surprised to hear like that amount of vitriol. But for him, it wasn't even a big deal. He was just like, he wasn't even that angry. Just all right. My dog is scratching. He wants to go outside. So I'm going to say, there you go. That's my Friday night chats. I hope everybody has a great weekend. All I have to do is work Monday, and then I have the week off. Oh, I'm going to be making an announcement very soon about my live stream, my first live stream. I'm planning to do that for next Saturday. And so I will be making an announcement very soon about the time, and I'll show off some examples, I think, of what I'm going to be giving away as a thank you to the community. And of course, wow, I am a talker, 36 minutes. So I just want to, again, thank everyone for the support. I know I really didn't have much to say, but I actually ended up talking a lot anyway. And everybody have a great week. Bye. That was lame.